Welcome. I'm Kevin, and this video kicks off a series of taking a room in your home and converting it into a home project studio. Now, the end result for me is that I want to build an affordable, acoustically treated semi-pro studio. My goal is to have a space where I can work comfortably and confidently that as I'm recording and mixing, I'm getting the best sounds, the best mixes, the most accurate mixes possible without spending thousands of dollars. Now, I'm not an architect and I'm not trained formally in acoustic theory. However, my family has many architects, engineers, master carpenters, and IT folks. So I'm coming from a long line of people who like to measure and create things. So now I'm naturally curious. I'm a dedicated maker, and my family has instilled in me this idea of empirical evidence. So with that in mind, I want to share my years of experience with you guys. And then I want to make sure that you know that I love to analyze, experiment, and investigate in doing things right. However, I'm not going to let perfection stand in the way of getting things done. So I'm going to follow a cycle called the Stuart cycle, which is, well, we refer to it in a little bit more limited terms as plan, do, check, and adjust. So that's what we're going to do is we're going to potentially measure a room. We're going to understand what that measurement is telling us. We're going to put something against that wall, and then we're going to measure it again, and then we're going to adjust. So that's the plan, do, check, and adjust. So we're going to make sure we follow that cycle so we can come away with some pretty cool stuff and good understanding about this room. Now this series will cover the details of setting up my third room in 2 years. The backstory on this is I built out a complete studio and control room in my basement in 2019. That consisted of a 10 by 20 live practice room and a tuned 9 by 17 control room. Now the caveat there was I also designed it to function as a small one-bedroom apartment. Now due to the pandemic, our children moved home and then transitioned into working remotely. So I relocated all of my gear to a new room in the house, and that room became version 2. Now the downside to that room was it's nearly square, which creates a lot of low-end buildup. And that resulted in kind of a poor mix because I wasn't able to truly understand the low end, which led me to use a lot more headphones for my final mix. So, since I wasn't needing the space for a live recording setup and COVID-19 was so prevalent, I decided to move my studio again. This gave me the opportunity to transform a recently vacated bedroom to a more efficient home project studio. And that brings us to where we are today. Now I want to be clear, this series is about treatment, which is defined as trapping, absorption, and diffusion. And I'll walk through the setup and treating of a studio space using and applying standard designs and implementations that are pretty common knowledge today. What I won't be covering in this series is isolation and deadening. I'm going to apply a no construction approach to this series. So with that in mind, I want to thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe and click the bell so you'll be reminded when I post videos. Most importantly, I hope you'll really gain a lot from our conversation using the comments below to ask any questions, but also to share your insights back because this is a collaboration. I'll see you next time.